So this month we're going to sublime some iodine and produce some really nice crystals out of it. It's a very simple demonstration. Your school may have one of these cold fingers, and basically all this is a tube which allows water to run through as a cooling device to deposit the iodine onto. However, you can kind of manufacture one of these yourself. What I've got here is just a boiling tube, and I've wrapped around it some gaffer tape just at the right thickness so that it sits neatly into a conical flask. I've not rammed it completely shut so that it's going to block if we're heating here. It's just sort of loosely in there. It can support its own weight, but if I hold it upside down it will quite happily fall out. You can find something that's got a good fit, or in this case over here I've got another tube, and I've actually wrapped a little piece of paper to produce a nice thick fit here as it goes in, so that actually as I'm going to lift this out, we're going to form some iodine crystals on the base here. As I lift this out, I'm not going to brush off any of the crystals if I want to have a closer look at them. Into the tube I've got some water which has got a little bit of ice in it, and that's going to just help to keep the surface cool, to keep it as a cold finger for us. And all we need to do is pop in a couple of spatulas of iodine and then begin gently heating. So I'm going to leave my sample heating there for a couple of minutes. In fact, I'll speed this up for you in a second. It's a really good demonstration to do when you're talking about particles at key stage 3 maybe, and is also worthwhile looking at if you're doing about crystal size and the rate of cooling. If you heat this up too strongly or too quickly, you'll find you get lots of small crystals. But if you actually are quite patient with it and allow the iodine to sort of build up over a period of time, you get some really nice big crystals coming out. So the last thing to do is to make sure your class can have a good look at the crystals that are formed. You can either allow them to come up and have a look through the glass, but in that way it can be a little bit obscured from the iodine that's deposited on the inside of the conical flask. If you're really careful though, and you've given yourself enough room to work with, you can take out the tube and very carefully position it in a clamp. Now I've left underneath this clamp a piece of paper because these crystals are extremely delicate and some are likely to fall off, and you don't want to stain your work surfaces. But once you've got to that position, as long as you make sure that your students don't touch the crystals, they can come and have a good look and really enjoy the iodine crystals.